welcome to the Get Going podcast. I'm Ash.
And I'm Ethan, and we're here to help you forget everything you've learned about the fitness industry.
You know what I realised the other day?
That we suck.
Personal trainers are shit.
They are.
They're shit. You want to know why?
Why?
Sorry, tell me why.
I tell you what, I actually say to clients all the time that I'm like, I'm a PT and I fucking hate PTs.
There's so many reasons why though. I mean, first of all, they're set up to be shit from the start. The industry itself makes them shit.
Low barrier of entry. So
that's the biggest one. That's the biggest thing.
You can get a certificate out of a cereal box, basically.
What's the shortest course? I think it's like 3 months or...
I had a friend who had
6 weeks. I think it's shorter.
I had a friend that went and got his, and I'm pretty sure they, pushed him through it. But I'm pretty sure he did it in like 6 to 8 weeks online.
Oh, that is...
Which, if he's been training his whole life, maybe that's all right. But if you're someone new to the industry and then you come out of the industry and you go with a 6-week course, which I learned nothing. I actually think I got dumber in my PT course, to be honest.
Think about how kind of dangerous that is, though. So you're taking someone that's had 6 weeks experience in training, and then you throw them into, a client's life, and they're, taking them through exercise and setting up programs and talking about diet and stuff like that. That's dangerous for someone that's wanting to get into it.
I always say personal trainers are the most underqualified psychologists as well. Like,
100%.
Like, I've seen some tears.
Yeah.
Pretty much every session.
Yeah, I think I've had every one of my clients cry.
Yeah, 100%. And, half the time it's just because you're doing your job right, because you're unboxing the issues that come with weight. You're unboxing the issues that come with, not being at where you want to be. Because it's an emotional journey too. And that's what we don't teach in the industry is you teach, certain movements or antagonist movement, which is just like, how practical is that? A client doesn't give a crap about that. But like, what's more important, knowing how your bicep moves or knowing how to improve someone's morning routine or like these are the things that they don't teach you, and you only really
they don't touch on it at all in these courses.
And I mean, PTs are guilty of just giving short-term fixes as well. So like every PT wants to, I mean, this is the thing, right? We do all the sales inside of things that Get Going, and when someone calls in, they're always looking for the lowest cost. Naturally. That's what we do in life. So straight away, you've got PTs coming out of the industry charging $20 or $30, which is, sure, go to the $20 or $30 PT, right? That's fine. But they're going to teach you absolutely nothing because they don't value their own time. Because they're new to the industry, they got to do what they got to do to get clients.
Because they have no idea what they're doing.
They have no idea what they're doing. And then you go to someone who values their time and charges whatever they charge, at, 100 plus and whatever it is, and they're amazing. And they teach you, they're still the same qualified person. And they teach you...
Yeah, they have the exactly same accreditation.
Exactly. But they teach you so many things. Like I'm a PT today and I still seek external help because I know that you never can stop knowing. You know what I mean? And
there's value in it. That's why.
100%. And also it's important to know what motivates you. Is it an extrinsic motivator? Is it an intrinsic motivator? But the problem is with these PTs is that you can get in, you finish this course 6 to 8 weeks, you've never really trained yourself before, and then you're working with, 38-year-old Sue who's got 3 kids and she's got mental health issues, diabetes, and you've done a 6-week course. Not going to happen. You're not going to get any long-term sustainable results. All you know how to do is decrease calories and exercise more.
Hardly that. I reckon it's probably even less than that. You probably
just know how to train.
You know how to do a certain exercise. That's probably it.
What is a personal trainer? A personal trainer is someone who personally trains you, right? But no, it's so much more than that. It's a coach. That's the way it should be.
In our experience, it's completely different to anything they've ever told you in these courses or anything like that.
Well, we have PTs come on board even now, and they get started with us, and we spend the first 10 weeks trying to get them to unlearn.
Yeah, unlearn it all.
Unlearn all the crap they've learned and get them to focus on the things that actually matter, which is the habitual stuff, which is the lifestyle changes, the long-term stuff, not what's more important, 8 reps or 9 reps. This is the stuff we focus on.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter if you do 8 reps, 12 reps, 20 reps, 15 reps, whatever. Like your goal.
I mean, if you're going to be that specific,
then you're an athlete.
Yeah,
but we're
exactly
not working
right.
with athletes, we're working with general population. And general population isn't after ridiculous athletic goals. They're after a healthy lifestyle, looking the way they want to look, and more importantly, feel the way they want to feel. And whether they're working in your hypertrophy phase or in an endurance phase, doesn't fucking matter.
That's where the problem lies, because they're teaching you so much about the technical shit that really doesn't matter in the long run for the general population, which is what you're going to be working with.
Yeah.
So they teach you nothing about how to deal with someone that's, had an injury, or someone that's kind of been demotivated for 10 years and trying to get back into it and make these habitual changes.
Also,
the course teaches nothing about that.
It's not like we should be taught on emotional intelligence. No. That's something that should be drilled into people as well. Is like when personal training comes out of the industry, they have no EQ at all, especially someone who's 18, 19 and they're working with someone who is extremely stressed, may have depression, whatever it is. They have no idea. They're so underqualified. And I mean, that's the perk and the negative of our industry. The perk is we get to have a massive impact on people's lives. The negative side is that you're giving it in the hands of people that do not deserve it. And the only way to get better as a personal trainer is to be obsessed with seeking your own external education. Do you know how, well, this is that really bugs me, right? And people don't realize this. People will inquire and they say, give us the person with the best degree.
Thinking that equates to experience or worth or value. Yeah.
I described this the other day. Would you rather get in the car with someone who doesn't have a license? Would you rather get in the car with someone who has a license and has never driven before? Or would you rather get in the car with someone who doesn't have a license and drives every day? You're going to choose the person with practical experience every day of the week, not the person that has a little card that tells you can drive. It's the same with personal training. Would you rather have someone who's got a degree and has studied under the sun but never put anything into practice, or would you rather have someone that has lived and breathed it every single day? And that's what you need to look for when you find a personal trainer, though. You need to find someone who lives and breathes it, not just someone who has done a course.
I have my own personal experience. I know I've done a bachelor's degree in exercise science, and I know that I learned so much more in the first probably 5 to 6 weeks of PTing than I did in that whole entire course about how to change someone's life.
Most of our company has done degree in exercise sports science and they've quit halfway through or finished it and gone, why did I do that? Because it doesn't provide practical knowledge to general population. Like, what are some of the things that you would have learned that you've never applied?
I know that I learned a shit ton about like anatomy, and I couldn't recall probably 20% of it now. And
even to this day, like, you're not going to give someone who's 35 years old that definition on it. You're not going to.
You don't need to. That's the thing.
It's not relevant.
I mean, it's important to have that background, but you don't need it.
I think the biggest thing we do wrong in the industry as well is we focus on the solution rather than the inspiration and the reason to change, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So
like we focus on how many reps, how many days a week we should train, rather than, hey, why are you training in the first place? What does it mean to you to get to your goals? And then let the intrinsic motivator do the rest. If I can get you inspired, all right, you've got 2 examples, right? You've got a PT next to me and then you got me. The PT on my left knows a lot more than me, is way better, has in terms of the sense that he knows more about training, knows more about nutrition, but he's not inspiring, right? And he knows nothing about habitual stuff or lifestyle. And then you've got me who knows sweet FA on nutrition, pretty much nothing on training, but I'm genuinely there to try and help. I know how to inspire the shit out of you, and I know how to affect your lifestyle for good habitual changes. I'm still going to be better every day of the week because this person, no matter what he knows, he can't get them to apply it. So it's not what you know, it's what you can apply, right? And that's what in my definition, that's what a personal trainer is. Someone who helps you apply something, not someone with the solution necessarily.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully both. That's the ideal world.
I think that another problem with the industry and why it's flooded with these shit personal trainers is because the turnaround is like 6 months or something for a PT.
Yeah.
They have these weird ideas about how it's going to be when you're a PT and it's going to be easy. You can have all this freedom and lifestyle and all this kind of stuff.
Ads.
And that attracts the wrong type of people to the industry itself. And it's also easy to get the certificate, like we said.
Yeah, low barrier of entry, and it's appealing. Well, exactly. This is the thing, right? This is what happens. Hey, I'm a corporate worker. I'm not enjoying my corporate job. I see an ad on TV that says, hey, are you passionate about health and fitness? Do you want to become a fitness professional? And they go, I like health.
Shit, that sounds like me.
Yeah, I like training and shit. So I'm going to leave my corporate job of $80K a year and go make it as a PT. And okay. And then they go there and they're happy and they're inspired. They do their course. They finish their course. Then they go join an industry where you're waking up at 5 a.m. You'll have to focus on your own retention and sales and everything like that. Your customer service,
in a commercial gym, like Fitness First or something like that, and then they'll end up paying whatever amount they're paying for
year contract, $450 a week in rent, and
they go, "This sucks."
Yeah, of course it sucks. Also, it's not glamorous. And plus, our lifestyles aren't glamorous unless we love it.
The inspiration is not going to be there for people like that, and that's what the biggest problem is. They're not inspired by it anymore.
Yeah.
So why are they going to learn? They're not going to focus on personal development. They're not going to focus on actually just knowing things.
100%.
They're just going to be, hating life.
Just because you enjoy training and enjoy structuring your food and your own progress does not mean you should be a PT. Get that through your head. No. It is more than that. It's hey, everyone says I want to change people's lives, but what are they talking about? Like, what do they actually mean? Are they saying I want to get someone a result for my Instagram so I can take a photo of it? Are they wanting to get what is the reason?
If you want to describe your I guess occupation as a PT, it'd be really hard to actually describe what you do.
100%.
Because you don't go and train someone for 45 minutes and, program and all that kind of stuff. You're actually much more than that, are you?
If you're doing your job right, then you're not just there to train them 45 minutes and leave.
And that's what the clients are looking for as well. They're not just looking for a PT that's going to do that.
If you've got a PT that comes into your session, trains you for 45 minutes, leaves, and you see them once a week and you do not speak to them in between a week, they are not a PT. You do not have a PT. You have a training partner.
You have a gym instructor.
You have someone that just trains you. If you have someone who trains you, texts you throughout the week, asks you how you're going, speaks to you, reviews your goals, how'd you go last week, how can we improve it, lifestyle changes, then you've got someone who's actually in there.
And also like a shoulder to lean on if you need it. Most of the time clients are looking for someone that's going to be there for them as well.
We're psychologists based on health and fitness. That's what we are. We're a health and fitness psychologist. And
you need to be willing to give that to your clients. If you're not, then you're not in the right industry if you're not.
And you know what? You have to have experience to do that through your own training too. How can you come out of the industry as an 18-year-old giving advice to someone who has 4 kids? Well, you don't have that. You can fake empathy, but you can't, not really. No. So unless you've put yourself in those shoes.
That comes back to emotional intelligence as well.
I know for us, when we started PTing people, we were used to, when we first started, we were kind of like, oh, well, I don't know why they can't get results because, they're not that busy. But then as me and you have both come into very, very busy schedules, we've realized how hard it can be. And that's why I seek someone external now to keep me motivated in an intrinsic way. So it's about knowing what motivates you and how and that's what the PT's job is.
Motivates you, but your client as well.
But inspires and motivates you to then go on your own journey. Yeah, that's the thing. When I'm inspired, this well yourself. When you're inspired, you'll find a way, right? But when you're not inspired, you'll find an excuse. So a PT's role is to get.
How's the little?
I know. It's like a bloody book. But if your goal is, if you're a PT that can spark inspiration and motivation internally to them, your clients, then they're going to find a solution for you.
And that comes back to being the right person for the industry as well. If you're super inspired by what you do, that's going to shine through in everything else that you do for your clients.
And you can see it when you're a client.
You can really see it. Of course you can see it. I mean, think about when you're having a good week with your training and you're feeling really on, that shines through into everything else, doesn't it? But if you've missed 3 or 4 days of training, then when you go to your sessions, you're kind of the same thing. You know what I mean?
And you know what? When you get into the industry and you're thinking in your head, I enjoy training and I enjoy nutrition, well, guess what? You're actually about to enjoy it a whole lot less because you're going into an environment where it's negative a lot of the time, where people don't want to do training, people don't want to eat right. So that actually becomes taxing on your own training and nutrition. So then you have to learn how to adapt and still keep up your own regime. So what a lot of people do is they become PTs and they fall off the bandwagon themselves. So then they don't
in turn make their clients fall off the bandwagon.
Exactly, because they don't live and breathe what they do anymore and they've lost the inspiration and boom, they're spat right back out of the industry.
You're pretty much becoming an extrinsic motivator for your clients.
Which means that what do we know if it's like when you've got a friend or family member who's really, really depressed, or if they're leaning on you, right, it becomes taxing, doesn't it?
Of course, it is a burden. Yeah.
It's the same as when you're a trainer and you're giving off all your energy all the time, there's not much left for yourself, unless it's really intrinsic and you're super inspired with what you do. So that's why people fall out of the industry.
And that's why you should if you're not.
If you're a PT, just ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? And do I know enough? The answer is always no, you do not know enough. So
we don't know enough. We're constantly learning.
You got to get your head out of your ass as a PT and realize that sweet FA.
That's another problem with the bloody industry as well. It's how many PTs have you talked to that think they know every single thing about training or nutrition or whatever else, and they don't do any PT?
Do you know what I love?
So they just got this opinion on, this is the way that you should set up a client's nutrition and that's it. They won't do any fucking PD or anything like that.
Do you know what I love? When someone comes on board with us, like a new trainer, this is like pet hate. A new trainer will come on board, like, how's your nutrition knowledge? And they're like, yeah, awesome. I know what to eat. I know how to eat. Or even a client, you say, yeah, great. All right. Now throw me off a couple of fats, and they go, oh yeah, chicken.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, throw me off a protein source. They're like, well, nuts. Like people are just know, like they believe they know everything about it. It's like property and food. I think the two things that everyone just thinks they know everything about.
Yeah.
Everyone's willing to give you advice on training. Everyone's willing to give you advice on nutrition, but not many people have actually applied it for a long time. So they it's someone gets a result in 4 weeks and they're like, you have to do keto, man. That's the best way to do it. I've done it for 4 weeks and I've lost weight.
I got a question for you. So what's some advice you'd give to a client that's seeing a PT right now that they're not happy with, right? So maybe the PT is just not programming stuff right for them or whatever else. What should that client do? Drop them?
Drop them, 100%. Oh, well, actually, I always say that
what
you
if
should
they
be honest. Be honest then. Be honest. Like you're paying
That's
for
what we tell our clients when they start up.
You're paying for a service. Like if you're not happy with the service, then word it to your trainer. And then if
he's not willing to change, drop it.
Then you need to move on. But it might be something, it might be miscommunication, which can happen, or it might just be the fact that he's not the right person for you. But personality plays in there too as well.
Huge.
I personally have to work with someone who will push me disgustingly. Yeah. I need someone that's going to smash me, which for another person, that's not going to be suited. So maybe
probably wouldn't be suited to me. I think.
No, maybe you have the wrong PT for your personality type, that means there's nothing wrong with the PT. He's just not adaptive to your personality.
That's really common in this industry for some reason. Clients and PTs, there's like no transparency between what the trainer's saying and what the client actually wants or is enjoying. Like for some reason, there's like this barrier that says you're not allowed to tell the PT that I'm not enjoying this type of training or I'm unhappy with something, and then they just kind of drop off.
Or
I'm not sure why that is. Like why that's this.
I think it's the PT's fault for not hitting everything. Yeah, hitting everything head on from the get go. I always tell all my clients that if you're not happy with anything, make sure you tell me.
Because I say that from the start as 100%,
well. And
because I want to be able to help them. We're there to help them. If they're not being transparent,
if they're lying to you about their food, then they're not helping themselves, or you're not helping them either. And if this is the thing, and most trainers will say, hey, you're lying to me about your food, it's your fault. But no, it's your fault because you obviously haven't created enough of a transparent relationship where they feel confident enough to tell you why they're stuffing up. If your client is lying to you about food, then you haven't created a transparent relationship. 100%.
And that's probably one of the biggest things in changing a client is having that relationship from the start.
It's self-accountability.
Because if you don't, you could be getting it right or you could be getting it completely wrong. And you won't know.
I know when if I tell my clients how to do things and we're structuring their plans and we're going through and doing all this process and they're not losing body fat, do you know what that tells me? They're lying, right? Which means that I haven't created enough of a relationship where they feel honest enough to tell me. No. So then we revisit goals and why we're doing what we're doing.
But you're already on the back foot because you haven't had that from the start.
Exactly. So, but then that comes down to learning on the job as well. So you're gonna structure people. The people are gonna lie to you. That's just gonna happen. Yeah. But then you need to work out how can I create a more of a transparent environment. All right. Summary: PTs need to learn more. All right, we'll leave it there.
I just want the industry to fucking change, though. Like we need to have courses that are longer than 6 weeks. It's just so shit.
I mean, if you're a PT and you can train someone,
a professional PT, like 6 weeks and you got a certificate.
It's funny. Like being a PT, I'm almost embarrassed to say you're a PT sometimes.
I am a little bit, yeah.
Because people don't respect the industry because of the people that are in the industry.
So it needs to be a fucking overhaul or something like that.
100%.
Yeah. Anyway.